Hello. So I just drove halfway to my destination only to realize that my memory card was not in the camera. So I made the decision to drive back home and get it. And since I'm already sitting here for a minute, I might as well tell you where I'm going instead of doing it in the car. Today I'm going to Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania to visit the Brandywine Museum. And this is a museum that houses the art of the Wyeth family, who were basically a family of artists in like the early 1900s, late 1800s. And one of them, N.C. Wyeth, is actually most famous for his illustrations for Treasure Island. And he was a student of Howard Pyle, who I learned all about in my Delaware Museum vlog. Anyway, in that vlog, I learned that Howard Pyle was a famous illustrator who was also a teacher, and he really kind of created the archetype of what we think pirates look like. So I thought it was cool that N.C. Wyeth, as his student, became famous for illustrating Treasure Island. And I'm hoping we get to see some of those illustrations today. Treasure Island is actually one of my lifelong favorite books. And I reread it, I'm not even kidding, I reread it a few weeks ago because I had been inspired to reread it ever since seeing those illustrations at the Delaware Museum. So yeah, I actually just reread it recently before even knowing that I'm gonna go see the art of somebody who was famous for illustrating it. Alright, let me head out. Again. I'm here! Alright, I have to go in, get a ticket, and then find the bathroom, because what else is new? The Brandywine Museum of Art opened in 1971, and was then called the Brandywine River Museum. In 1967, a group of locals purchased the land here to save it from industrial development, and founded the Brandywine Conservancy. The building itself is a former 19th century grist mill that was called Hoffman's Mill. The Conservancy converted it into a museum during their early days. I focused on the museum during this visit, but there's a whole 15-acre campus here that includes miles of trails and the former studios of N.C. Wyeth and his son Andrew Wyeth, which you can tour for an additional cost. And the museum is also set to begin work on major expansions next year. They'll be renovating the mill building and adding a second building, and a huge public preserve and garden with more trails and a wetlands boardwalk. There are 3 floors, and I started on the second floor because that's where the bathroom was. The museum is known for its panoramic views of the Brandywine River, and that was the first thing I stopped to see. Then I went into this gallery, which showcases art from 3 generations of Wyeths, from N.C. Wyeth to his grandson. Next, I headed into this exhibit about illustration, where I saw my first Treasure Island painting, along with lots of others. N.C. Wyeth had been a successful illustrator for years before illustrating Treasure Island in 1911, but these paintings made him famous, and the proceeds allowed him to buy his house and studio here. On the third floor, I checked out the view again from a bit higher up. Then I went into this exhibit centered around Betsy James Wyeth, daughter-in-law of N.C. Wyeth. Betsy was responsible for helping to get the mill preserved and restored. She also wrote books, which are on display here. In this gallery, I saw lots of watercolors and preliminary studies for paintings, as well as finished paintings. This one was one of the most striking. I went into another gallery dedicated to illustration with works by various artists, including Howard Pyle and Norman Rockwell. And it was really eye-opening to me to see an actual Rockwell painting and realize how good it was, after a lifetime of only having seen his art printed on mass-produced collectible crap where the images look so dull and lifeless. I saw lots of amazing illustrations here, including more Treasure Island paintings. I went into the last gallery that I hadn't seen yet. I really liked this painting. And this one. One last look at the view. And then I walked around the gift shop, which had a lot of stuff, before heading outside. There's also a cafe you get to through the gift shop, and I peeked in, but I didn't feel like getting anything or sitting in there. I stopped and put my purchases in the car, and then I went back to walk around outside for a bit. If you haven't noticed yet, there are a lot of millstones worked into the landscaping, which was cool to see. As I mentioned earlier, this is the Brandywine River, also called the Brandywine Creek, and it runs for about 20 miles through Pennsylvania and northern Delaware. Is that a swing out there? Okay, I got some postcards. First of all, the pig. That painting was amazing. The screaming tiny dog. Captain Nemo. And of course, Long John Silver and Jim. And I think I might put this one up on the wall next to the Flying Dutchman. Once I thrift a frame this size, of course.
That's what we do with a drunken sailor, that's what we do with a drunken sailor, that's what we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning. Way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises early in the morning.